And as you do this, wonders will begin to happen in your life. You know, Edison discovered, or he knew intuitively, that the voice caused undulatory currents in the atmosphere. And he reasoned it out. He said such currents could reproduce the voice. The idea came to him that inasmuch as your voice produced waves, that these waves would reproduce that voice. That's believing you have it now and you shall receive it. So he developed a phonograph. The idea came from his subconscious mind. Your subconscious is your friend, seeks to heal you, to restore you. If someone is presenting you with a phony deal, there's something within you that warns you. That's your subconscious mind prompting you. Its intimations, urges, promptings, murmurings are always life word. It seeks to heal you if you cut yourself, if you burn yourself. It seeks to reduce the edema, gives you new skin and tissue. If your child is very sick and you're completely exhausted and you think about waking up to give the medicine to your child at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, it'll wake you up, no matter how tired you are, exactly at 2 o'clock to minister to your child. Its tendency is always lifeward. Electricity, Edison knew, was produced by friction. Reverse it. Friction, in turn, produces electricity. Edison knew the transformation of forces.
And all the experiences in the Bible are experiences of you. Tells you how you get into trouble and how you get out of trouble. It has no other meaning. It's not a book of prophecy or predictions. We have crackpots all over the world predicting from the Bible. And they are as insane now as they were 2,000 years ago. In Laguna Hills, where I live, California, about a year ago, there were a group of people going to Madeira Islands in Spain. You read that all of them were lost or burnt to death in the plane. Quite a number of people who had tickets on that plane, they didn't go on the plane. They couldn't go on the plane. They learned how to pray. They knew how to pray. Now, there were a great number of people scheduled to fly on that plane, did not go on the plane. A great number believed in divine guidance. They said infinite intelligence guides and directs me in all my ways. Divine love goes before me, making straight and perfect my way. 3 women had a vivid dream the day before they were supposed to depart. They saw the whole tragedy in their mind before it happened. They didn't dismiss it from their mind. Each one said to the husband, we must cancel this trip. They told others about their dream, very, very vivid dream, and they brushed it aside. They said it's only a dream. But the subjective mind, subconscious mind, protected them. There were 9 people whom I know didn't go on that trip. They were scheduled to go. They canceled their trip because they prayed about it. They prayed about it. Nothing is foreordained. Nothing is predetermined. We mold and fashion our own destiny. If you do not keep prayed up, you're subject to the thoughts of 4 billion people. If you don't do your own thinking, who's going to do it for you? If you don't choose your own emotion, is your mother-in-law going to choose it for you? Do you control your own mind? Do you own your own mind? Or are other people manipulating you morning, noon, and night? Are they kicking you around like a football? Always make your own decisions. Never go to a relative for advice. The most disastrous thing you could do. Whatever they tell you is biased and prejudiced. Go to somebody who's neutral. Now, everyone has psychic powers in the world. Everybody. Everybody has psychic powers.
Bring them before your mind's eye and dare to assume that what you are seeing in your mind's eye is true. Now, there is a definite technique to it, a simple technique. If I can share with you what I do, and it works, I bring them into my mind's eye and I work myself up into an emotional state. It's like a peculiar rhythm. I breathe in and breathe out and breathe in and breathe out, and suddenly I reach a certain point and then one deep inhalation as though I am setting it up in a time exposure before my own mind. I set it up, and all of a sudden I have a deep, deep inhalation, and every pore of my being explodes. And then I do nothing beyond that. It's taking that scene and setting it up in a time exposure before the eternal event. And then I explode it, and then let life develop it. And life develops it. And then I get the call, or I get the wire, or I get a letter confirming that which I did. And I do nothing to make it so. I simply believe implicitly in Jesus Christ, but I have found him. I have found him as my own wonderful human imagination. I believe that all things are possible to him. He has ways and means that the mortal mind knows not of. So I do not care if I do not see clearly how it could possibly be. It makes no difference to me. I simply bring it to my mind's eye what I want to see it clearly, explode it, and then let it be. Now it could be tomorrow. It could be a month. It could be even years. I am not concerned. I have done it, and that's all that matters as far as I'm concerned. Your imagination is God. Your imagining that is God in action. Do you know what you would love for yourself and for your loved ones in this world? Assume that you have it. And that assumption, though at the moment, is denied by your senses, denied by reason. You know exactly what you want now. And then you imagine you are seeing them. You can see them in your mind's eye and see them vividly. And then breathe yourself into a rhythm. They're telling you that they have it. And you're getting yourself worked up emotionally because they're telling you that they have exactly what you know they would want in this world. And then you reach a certain point and you explode. Something actually goes out of you. It's power. You work yourself up into a certain emotional state, and then suddenly you explode. And you feel everything go out. And you cannot repeat it. There's no desire to repeat it. It was an actual psychic, sexual act. But there's no physical act. There is no evidence of any physical act. But it's the same thrill that you would were it a physical act. Work yourself right up into that state, and then let it go.
The reality is, it's equally powerful in regard to affecting your biology as is positive thinking, but it works in the opposite direction. A negative thought is called the nocebo effect. Can cause any disease, and you can die. If you believe you're going to die, you can die from the belief. So we really have to watch out because, as psychologists would tell us, 70% or more of our thoughts are negative and redundant, replaying the same negative thoughts. I go, if thoughts had nothing to do with it, fine. But thoughts, positive or negative, shape our biology. And all of a sudden it says, well, now it's time to wake up because our negative thinking is manifesting a negative life experience. A gene is a blueprint. It has no ability to turn itself on or off. A gene doesn't know what the hell it does. And the idea is giving all this power to a blueprint has been an error all these years. It's not the blueprint that we're concerned about. It's the contractor who reads the blueprint. And I say, well, what in my biology is the contractor? I go, the mind. This is the unfortunate fact. 95% of our life, this is a fact, comes from those programs in the subconscious. Every day, only about 5% of their life are you using conscious, which is creative. 5%. And you don't see it because it's called subconscious, below conscious. And the Jesuits, for 400 years, they were boasting. People didn't understand. They say, give me a child until it's 7 and I will show you the man. They've been saying that for 400 years because they knew 7 years was the program period. And 95% of your life after that will be whatever that program is. So Angelina Jolie runs in a family where there is cancer. And I say, yeah, they have the gene. I say, that didn't cause it. It was the behavior that was passed on. Behavior is passed on, not like genes. It's passed on through families, but it's passed on through learning in families.
There are numerous references in the Bible to dreams, visions, revelations, and warnings given to men during sleep. Your subconscious mind is active 24 hours a day. It's your greatest friend. The Bible points out that Joseph was accurate in his analyses of the dreams of Pharaoh. His mental acumen and sagacity in predicting the future through the interpretation of dreams brought him praise, honor, and recognition by the king. There is a wonderful power within you, a subconscious intelligence and wisdom, that man can use. He may be religious, he may be agnostic, he may be an atheist, and yet he can experience this infinite intelligence and wisdom functioning for him, because you need no creed. If you will call upon it, it will answer you, just as well as the atheist or the agnostic gets an answer. It's impersonal, no respecter of persons. You can call it a superhuman intelligence if you want to, or as I said, a subliminal mind or a subjective mind, or the I am, they call it Om in India. But the point is, the presence of the infinite is within you. It's in your own subliminal depths. It's also a law. It is there and we should use it. It works as you sleep. The German proverb is, night brings counsel. Your body doesn't rest. Your heart and all the vital organs are working while you're sound asleep. Your conscious mind is in abeyance. You turn away from the vexations and the strife and the contentions of the day. But 2/3 of your life is controlled by the 1/3 in sleep. What do you go to sleep with every night? Go to sleep in the feeling that you're a tremendous success, that you're absolutely outstanding. If you have a problem, contemplate the solution. Say, infinite intelligence gives me the solution. I accept the answer. It comes to me in divine order. So that subjective self of you corrects the errors of the day and anchors your thought to the supreme intelligence within you. In other words, the ancient Hebrews said you participate in the wisdom and the foreknowledge of the gods when you're sound asleep, because healing currents are released when you're asleep. The Bible says he giveth his beloved in sleep.